All right. Hello, guys. My name is Jader. I'm the founder of Label Closers, an organization dedicated to help people become highly effective in high ticket sales. I'm going to be here I've been here for the past year, every Tuesday, Thursday, 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And about 90% of the times I'm going to be there, I'm going to be here those 2 days. I try to make it one day out of the two if I can do the two at the same in the same week. All right, guys, subscribe, make comments, ask questions. You can join our school community skool.com. Ask questions there. On Facebook, you can visit www.blacklabel-closers.com. Make sure you hit the dash right between Black Label and Closers. There's a dash right there. Otherwise, you go to the old domain that we had, which is not working. Perfect. Today, sorry, my throat is giving me complications. All right, guys, we're going to talk about very, very interesting things. Here's what I've tried to do for the past year. I think around 2 weeks over to the date, I've been doing this for a whole year. So a year, maybe a year, a couple of weeks, maybe a year and a month. I've been doing this every single week. Missing some days here and there, but not like I said, probably less than 5% of the scheduled lives or promised lives. I have not been able to 100% make it, but 95% of the time, so I'm here Tuesday and Thursday at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. If I can't make it one day, if I can't make it Tuesday, I'll make it for sure Thursday. If I can't make it Thursday, I'll make it Tuesday. I think it's been maybe 1 or 2 weeks that I've missed the entire week. Maybe just one. Yeah. All right. So the point I'm trying to make is I make it a point. The point I'm trying to make is I make it a point to never repeat a subject. At some point, we're going to have to sharpen up or complete thoughts or points or once I have to cycle back. But I don't remember in the past year ever repeating a major point. Maybe I have mixed things that are relevant to one issue or to a particular topic. Maybe a point there is relevant to another point that I'm trying to make. It doesn't really happen that often, but I think I've been doing pretty well at staying away from having to go over and be redundant. So today's not going to be the exception. Today we're going to talk about 3 essential things so that we can understand. I'm going to go by the order that I decided to put this under. All right. The title today's live is promotions, pain, and what does it mean to get paid once a month? All right. And I'd love for this, and at some point I'm going to make a video for companies, so I can explain to companies why paying once a month. What happens when you pay once a month, and what's the psychology embedded in it? Everything, without exception in sales, every single thing, every single strategy, every single approach, every single step, every single thought, every single tactic is all psychology. From how you sell to how you're being treated by your bosses, how you treat your employees, how you treat your peers, your colleagues, how you treat in relationship. I think I think maybe we should talk about that in another live, which I've never talked. I mean, there's so many things that come up that you don't have to really repeat, but also how you relate. What's your profession as a closer in relationship to your life outside closing? There's a lot where it's not like it's you never stop being a salesperson, and that's because you always have to whatever challenges. I think I'm not going to talk about this because we should choose um, a particular time to talk about this exclusively, not just give you pieces of this. So let's focus on the paid promotions and what does it mean to get paid once once a month, right? All right, so let's go with the first one: pain overrated. What do I mean by that? When you take a sales training course, you're going to notice that a lot of that is going to be focused on pain. And as much as I appreciate pain, uh, pain is important. But number one, you can disguise pain with priority. You can disguise pain in um, a superlative need to be able to accomplish something. You can disguise pain, or you can transform pain into why the things you haven't been able to do, and how that in relationship to how that feels, that makes you feel. But then there's going to be a direct relationship and conversation and approach to pain, and is what happens if this doesn't take place, right? Now you got to be careful with this because, in my opinion, if you overplay pain, the conversation is going to start turning negative, and you're going to be more of a threatening factor than a helping factor. You have to separate. Number one, when you're talking about pain, then you really have. You can sound accusatory. Be careful with how you sound accusatory. Um, you can sound moralistically um entitled, and that sounds arrogant. But if you know how to play the game, there is a confident process that you gain, and this is why it's so important that you have seen all the videos and the training that I've done on how to gain the respect of people. Gaining the respect of people, that's what it means. If you're confusing respect for someone just being intimidated, that's not the same thing, right? So when you gain people's respect, then you have that moral premise to be able to come and say, um, so what's going on here? Why? I mean, you're losing money here, you're losing opportunities right here. You've had the opportunities to be able to fix this, but you're still in the same position that you were a year ago or 2 years ago. What's going on? That's pain right there. But at the same time, you're making them reflect on their stubbornness to not do what they need to do to solve whatever issue, whatever problem they have. And you're gonna hit that, and then you're gonna let them take your time. You do not want to interrupt, right? You want to make sure that you're every now and then. Don't do this too much, guys. When they're talking, don't go too much. Oh yeah. Don't do that. Let them just stay quiet, right? And every single time, just go, okay, right? Just a very sober, okay, right? Every now and then, if they're taking 5 minutes to explain something that they're probably aligning with you, that they're accepting that they're at fault, and they're giving you an explanation what that means into the future. Let them talk and just make some reflections, maybe within the 5 minutes. Do okay or every 3 in 5 minutes. Don't Don't think because you're going to be saying, giving them sounds back of affirmation or corroboration of participation in the conversation. That means that because sometimes you're making such a good point and somebody says, and it makes you get sidetracked. Stay quiet. Just take it in, right? And I guess this is where your intelligence kicks in and your aptitude as a closer kicks in. No one can teach you on aptitude. Nobody can train you on aptitude. No one is going to be able to teach you the things that it's like if you're driving a stick shift, which nowadays, I don't know if some of you understand what that is. when you place your gear in first, the person teaching you how to drive might tell you when to switch to shift the gear, right? But at some point in life, you're going to be driving that car, and depending on what you do with that car and how much you want to accelerate for what purpose, you are going to be autonomous as far as understanding when to shift that gear. It's the same thing with this. This is going to play itself out, and you're going to have that feeling to know, okay, how much is too much? If you start talking about, and a lot of trainers do this, they teach people to focus on the fear, to drill the fear. Listen, and I know this is not going to be popular. Remember, I've been doing this for 25 years. And I'm gonna come out and say it. Pain is not the subject matter. Pain is not the subject matter. And I know a lot of that psychology and sales and all that stuff talks about how pain is the number one. It's not. It's not the number one. It's a complement. And it's important to talk about pain. But more importantly, it's you're having a coherent conversation about possibilities. What I find that is the single most effective thing is to convince someone. Remember, you have little power to convince. That's another thing that a lot of people are going to tell. Well, if you don't have a lot of power to convince, how do you call yourself a closer? Here's the reason why I say that. You can only lead them. You can only lead people to the place of conviction. That's where your talent is. It's leading them there. But I cannot convince someone that they need to make money. I can't do that. I can help them get right to a place where they, voila, they have what's the word I'm looking for? Anyway, they arrive to the place where they understand I need to make money because everything that I've been told, I've been asked by this person makes sense. This is the reason why logic, if you're going to sharpen your skills, epiphanical, that's what I was looking for, an epiphanical moment. If you're if you're going to sharpen your skills at being logical. Because once you are logic, after you have gained the respect from these people, they're not going to articulate. They're not going to go against your logic, and that's when you arrive to that conviction spot, and that epiphanical moment is going to allow them to determine right then and there. You're right. I need to make changes. Right. If you say if you're gonna make a point, lead them to the point. So they make the point. If you make the point, it's not true. If they make the point, it's absolutely 100% true. All right. So, pain can be overrated. Don't overdo it. Gain respect and help them arrive at a place of conviction. Don't push for pain, because you become a terrorist. Don't be accusatory. Always talk about the stubbornness that they have. If you have enough character and you've gained enough respect from these people, you're going to be able to morally confront them to, reason in the rationality of having to make decisions. All right. There's a lot more we can talk about this, but obviously for the sake of time, we're going to move on. All right. So what is the next point we're making here? All right. Number 2. Sorry, guys, I messed up. The first one was promotions, and I talked about pain. Let's talk about promotions. So I'm going to invert it. The first point was promotions. The second was pain. No big deal. We're gonna inverse that, and let's talk about promotions. This goes both for companies, and primarily for companies, and also for closers. I'm going to make a very blunt point, a very simple point here. When you tell me that you have a financial opportunity, and that financial opportunity has collected all the strategies, information, and knowledge on how to expedite success, and you arrive to the investment and you tell me the investment is this much, right? And then you tell me, but if you act now, we can bring it from $20,000 to $15,000. I could not stretch how mediocre that sounds. People, follow-ups and promotions have the same, come from the same place. Promotions, so companies give salespeople promotions because the company has to rely on the fact that they don't understand or they don't trust that you are a true closer and you're going to be able to close 90% of the times at 100% of a full pay. So what they're going to do is they're going to tell you, here's this promotion, this discount, just in case you don't have the skill, you throw that in the mix and then you get it that way. Well, here's the problem. I don't care how dumb someone is. If you tell them, if you pay today, I'll be able to give you $5,000 off the investment. I don't care how dumb the person, how ignorant the person you're talking to is. They're going to know, well, number one, I can come back anytime I want for the same damn discount. What are you going to do? Tomorrow, you're going to tell me if it's today, not tomorrow. I'll come back tomorrow and say, hey, I'm ready to go for the $15,000. What, are you not going to take my $15,000? You're going to take my $15,000. So the $5,000 discount is all bullshit. It's not true. And every single person under the sun knows this. So I don't understand why companies keep insisting on promotions or giving something extra. If we do it today, I'll give you this extra. I'll come back in about a week, about a month from now, about 6 months from now. I'll just remind you of the promotion or the extra things that you're going to give me. If I signed out that day, you're going to give them to me because you're there to take money, right? So don't do that. Don't lessen the value of what you're selling. If you're posturing and you have certainty of the fact that when you posture people, that you earn people's respect, that you have the respect, that people see you as a guidance, whatever, I have never, ever once in my entire life, in the 25 years, with 60 marketers, 60 closers that I have had in my own company, I have never once, even when I had accounts that gave me green light for promotions, not once did I ever tell one of my marketers or did I ever tell one of my prospects, here's a promotion, here's a discount, here's an extra. I don't even talk about how many classes you're going to get, how many videos you're going to get, or how many this or that you're going to get in the case of you selling a training program. Now, when you're selling, that's when you're selling intangibles. When you're selling a tangible, yeah, it could be an extra push if you give them an extra feature, or an extra gadget, or something that could push the sale, right? But we're not talking about high ticket, right? We're not talking about, like, if you have a car. Say for instance, I'm going to give you two examples. Let's say that you want to go to Harvard University, right? And you go there, you go through the interviews, you have $100,000 ready to pop for a semester, and you sit there and you say, well, I don't know if I want to sign up. Do you think the people at Harvard will say, well, if you sign up today for our classes, we're going to give you $5,000 discount or $10,000 discount? Well, first of all, that's not how it works. They're the ones. If you're in front of them, it's because there's nothing else you want more in life at that point than to be accepted at Harvard University. Now it's up to them to accept you or not. And this is the point that I'm trying to make with posturing. This is how I get people to believe in the respect that I need to instill in the process, that they believe me when I say this is $20,000, and I don't have to break it down. And this is $20,000. Yeah, I do break it down technically when I'm explaining how they're going through a description of everything. But here's the thing: when I'm doing that, when I'm describing what they're going to get as far as the classes and the rhythm of the program and all that stuff, they've already agreed to the money. I'm not doing that to build up value. That's not what I'm doing. The value was in the psychology of the process for them to accomplish their goals and how we can assist them. That's where the value is. That's when they tell me, yeah, I agree to the $20,000 at the end of the call. And then is when I explain all the technicals. I don't want to waste time building up value, because it's better when they understand the sacrifice and then they, boom, oh, I get all this, instead of if you inverse the process and you give them all that, and after you give them the investment, they're not going to go, oh, I get all this. They're going to go like, that's all I get for all that money. Trust me, psychology is a funny thing, right? Please stay away from promotions, extras. It is what it is. That's it, all right? Again, you got to be wise depending on what you're selling. I am here training people on how to sell high ticket with intangible products, services where people don't get to take anything home, or smell it, or taste it, or touch it, or see it. None of that, right? Awesome. The last point I'm going to make, it's a very simple and concise point, and this goes again. This has been kind of a life that can encompass both the company, the employer, or the person generating the opportunity, and the person offering the service as a salesperson. As a closer, you have to understand you're an entrepreneur. You're offering a service to a company, right? If I were to give a choice to be an employee to a company as a salesperson, or to be a 1099, I always choose to be 1099 because, first of all, it's not that I'm going to reject, I'm going to turn down a base. It's just that a base, nobody's going to pay you enough of base to make it attractive for an effective closer to say, I want a base, right? A base is given to someone who's, if they have to pay a base, they're losing money. If, let's say, all you made for that month or that those 2 weeks, if all you made was the base, they lost money on you. If you made 40, 50, 100 times over the base, they made a ton of money on you, right? So, if you are the source of the opportunity, if you're the employer, if you are the name brand, I don't understand why you're paying once a month. I don't get it. If you're paying once a month, I don't care how much you call yourself a salesperson, you do not understand the culture of salespeople. Number one. Number two, you do not understand what it means to incentivize your salespeople from an owner's perspective or a source perspective to be able to inflict the most amount of possibilities for people to be excited about closing quickly and every single week. Think about this. So I'm going to talk about from the perspective of the salesperson. If you're a salesperson, somebody says, we'll pay you once a month, try to negotiate a weekly salary. Not a salary, but commissions every single week. You want to get paid. If they're going to give you, if they're going to expect result every single week, then I'm going to expect a paycheck every single week. It keeps me grounded to every single week wanting to never blank. I know I'm going to get paid the next week. Maybe sometimes you get paid 2 weeks out from the week that you made those sales, so you have to wait a week out. But there's nothing more horrendous to a salesperson than knowing that you are blanking that week and you're not going to get paid. Business owners, do you understand what I just said? Do you understand the power in that? Do you understand that that means that you have the certainty that someone at the end of Thursday, if they're blanking, they're going to do whatever it takes to put sales on the board because they want to get paid for that week. Let's think about once a month payment. You pay me once a month. It's the first week of the month, the first week of the cycle. I blanked. Oh, okay, I'll get paid next month. It's all going to be in one paycheck, so I'll make it up next week. Do you understand psychologically that does not make sense? It doesn't make sense. Number one, you're shooting yourself in the foot. Number two, your salesperson is not collecting as many times as possible and as often and soon as possible. Salespeople love to collect as soon as possible. Now you're going to think about refunds. What? Oh, yeah, but I got to wait for the refunds. Well, if you have a refund problem, then you have a fulfillment problem. Or you have a salesperson who's lying problem. So you got to get rid of the problem, whatever problem you have, so that you don't have to have the refund problem. If your problem is I cannot pay people at least 2 weeks out because I don't know if I'm going to keep the money or not, then you have a problem. Then you have to identify the problem, get rid of the problem, or you're the problem. Maybe you should get rid of it. I'm trying to be as kind as possible. It pisses me off that companies want to pay people once a month. Stop paying people once a month. I don't care if I make $200,000 in a single month. I want to get those $200,000 broken into 4 weeks. Heck, if you're really, really concerned with the refunds, at least make it bi-weekly or every 2 weeks. But don't leave it. Don't drag people. And by the way, I'm gonna be honest with you guys. As a salesperson, I don't trust a company with a month's worth of my money. You have no idea how many dirt is out there. And if somebody just decided not to pay you on that 15th or that 20th or that 30th, you just lost a whole bunch, a month's worth of money. So do not settle for that. This is one of those topics that really get me stirred up, and I call it like it is. Thank you, guys. I'm going to be here every Tuesday, Thursday at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, 95% of the time. So if I can't do it Tuesday, I'll do it Thursday. If I can't do it Thursday, I'll do it Tuesday. I'll be here 1 to 2, but for the most part, 95% of the times, I'm going to be here for 2 days. All right. Glad to have you here. Subscribe, hit like, comment, ask questions, disagree. I don't care. We can have a fight. Just kidding. Everything with respect, right? I'll be respectful to you. Be respectful to me. and we can play ball. All right. All right, guys. My name is Jader. I'm the founder of Black Label Closers, an organization dedicated to help people become highly effective in the art of high ticket sales. And I'll be here on Tuesday, Thursday again at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Catch you next.